Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about how you can make money as a small gaming YouTuber. This is going to talk about the initial setup and some considerations that you need to make. Today's video is going to cover mainly the niche that you want to look at, your setup, and using things like Steam and guides to help you from getting some basic ideas out there into a bigger audience. So the first point is niche. You can play any game you want, and you can record any game you want, and you can whack it up on the internet, and you might get lucky and someone might watch it. However, if you want to actually have a good progression, certainly in making money, then you need to have a think about what your niche is. And what I mean by that is basically finding something that you can enjoy, that other people are also going to enjoy watching because of you. For example, a lot of people enjoy watching guides because I tend to do guides that people find are easy to listen to or just are easy to understand. And I have a lot of feedback based off that. So I use that to my advantage and I aim my audience in that direction. So for example, if I'm going to make a guide, I'll keep my guide done the same way. One point of that is that I don't script my guides. I tend to have my guides done as I go, because I feel that the flow comes to me naturally and I find it a lot easier to do it that way. And that's my kind of niche. That's what people enjoy listening to me, or at least that's what I'm told anyway. You need to find out what it is you want to do. So for example, things like montages. If you want to do a montage, then you know where you're going to begin your journey as a gaming YouTuber. This is important to think about now because everything else will stem off your niche. If you're going to do montages where it's a very quick edit, there's not much to do in terms of editing or in terms of really recording much other than some of your gameplay and cutting it down to what you need to do, then that's your niche. Whereas if you want to start adding things in like sound effects or video effects or memes and stuff like that, then you're starting to increase your time requirements along with, you know, a little bit more of a complex editing style. That's something you need to think about at the beginning. Right now is what you need to go, right, what do I want to do? The things you can do to help yourself along the way is you can actually have a look at what other people are already doing. Just because there are a lot of people doing one type of game or one type of style or one type of anything like that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't do it or that you should do it. What you need to look at is what can you do and what piece of the pie is there for you. So for example, if you're going to pick a game that hasn't got many viewers and you're doing the same as everybody else, the likelihood is you're going to have a hard time actually getting them viewers to come over to you. You're in a very, very high competitive market for a very low number of views. Whereas if you start looking at the bigger games like Call of Duty, there are a lot of creators out there. So then you need to be able to be as good as them or unique. There is them kind of things. However, this is a quick glance at what you can earn just from finding that niche. In December 2017, I started my channel. And for the first while, I didn't earn any money. If we go to our revenue here, you'll see our revenue and views kind of have this similar look. I didn't earn any money here. I actually took a bit of a hiatus in between here because my software and hardware wasn't up to scratch and I really struggled to find my niche. However, when I started getting to 2020, I decided to sit down, have a think about what I wanted to do and actually do what I'm trying to tell you to do now. Find some sort of niche, work on it and develop that. I found that I could actually do guides on space sim games that I enjoy playing myself, where I kept asking the question and nobody was answering it. Or there were people out there answering it, like Captain Collins, for example. Another great YouTuber does the same thing as me. I am in competition with Captain Collins, but I don't have to compete against him. I use him as support because he already has a community and I have a community. We bounce off each other because the pie that we have is rather large because there's a lot of people asking these questions and not many people are answering them. So back to what I said earlier about finding that pie and, you know, how much you're going to compete against it, that's a prime example. So in 2020, I started earning a bit of money. And as you can see here, it did go up and down, but recently the spikes are a lot closer together. There's a lot higher spikes as well. And you'll see over the term of what you would class as 3 years, realistically, I've earned over £5,000. Now, most of that has gone into more setup, more, covering the cost of my gaming setup, my extra things that I've wanted to add to it, like the new sound systems that I've put in, some new software that I put in, also some third-party apps and stuff like that. I actually haven't earned any profit from this. Most of it has gone back into my setup. However, that's not come out of my pocket. So I've got better stuff for it, and I feel great about it too. Just to put into perspective as well, over the past year, I have earned nearly half of what I earned over the full 3 years of being monetized. Things have progressed, things have developed more, and I'll cover the reason why that's happened in other videos, because there's a lot of detail to go into about stuff like that, and I'll cover it in a later video. However, just point out, just because at the beginning you're not earning much money, it's not always going to be like that. As you start progressing and keeping going, just keep at it, you're going to find that you're going to start earning quite a bit of money. And considering that's from January 2022 to now, which is roughly, 18 months, that's not a bad amount of money to earn. Now, tying in with your niche, you'll see that you get a lot of information on your analytics. You can see what works for you. Now, this is just a quick snippet of stuff that I want to show you now, and we're going to go into massive detail about this at a later stage. However, I don't want to hook up on it now because I've got a couple of other things I want to talk about first for the setup. But you'll see that I can see where my top earning content is. I can see where I'm earning my money. I can also see that there are ways I can improve on stuff. I know why these are showing what they are, and we'll again go through all them as we go through these videos. All the information's there, use it, find that hole, that gap that needs covering, and become the great gamer that you can be on a platform like YouTube. So that's all about the niche. The thing that you need to find that you can do, provide to an audience, and allow yourself to grow. That doesn't mean you have to do everything under that niche. What you need to do is use the niche to grow, and then do the things that you enjoy on top of that. You'll also find that if it's roughly around the same kind of style, for example, if you are a Call of Duty gamer and you don't quite enjoy doing the montages, you enjoy just playing the game, you'll find that your montages, if you do them, will bring people in, and then they'll stick around to watch your other content. That goes for any type of gameplay that you do. Gaming is gaming at the end of the day. I play various different types of games. So likelihood is if my favorite creator is covering multiple games, I'll check out some of the other ones he's done and find, actually, I might enjoy that. So just because you're covering a niche doesn't mean everything has to be about that niche. You just need to make your growth about that niche, and the revenue comes in from that. Next thing I want to talk about now is the setup. This, to me, is the second most important thing. Your niche is the one thing that's going to get you to grow, but if you've got the niche and your content's terrible, you're not going to get anywhere again. So yes, I do say it's the second greatest thing for me, but they are pretty much neck and neck with each other. And the reason why I don't call it the first one is because if you choose the wrong topic to go into, you're never going to grow. Unless you want to do 3 million videos and get 1 view a video, and you might finally get there. But that being said, the second most important thing to me is the setup. When it comes to your setup, you've got to have it right. If you don't have enough in terms of hardware and software to do the job, then no amount of videos is going to get you anywhere. Yes, you're going to get 1 or 2 people who's going to stick around, and they're going to be the yes men. They're going to go, you're amazing, you're doing great. There are people out there who genuinely will support you like that, and they mean it because they enjoy your content. However, some people are out there just to say yes to anything. Bear that in mind, that you want to make sure that your setup is right for you. You've also got to have the right hardware and software to match the game you're playing and to be able to cover the coverage that you want to do. Make sure you're happy with it. Make sure you're looking at people's feedback throughout, and don't just take all the positives, take the negatives. And if somebody's going, oh, I'm feeling a little bit sick watching this, motion blur is a thing. Make sure motion blur is turned off. That is in your software, that's in your settings, make sure that's off. Things like that are things that you're going to overlook. Make sure that the experience that you're giving your viewers is the best it can be. Things to consider when you're talking about software is, have you got the right recording stuff? I use OBS for recording. Is it set up correctly? Is my resolution correctly set up? All these things, there's a lot of considerations, and I'll go into more detail about setting up stuff like that. If that's something you need me to do, let me know in the comment section. And if that is something I need to go through and show you how we set up things in various different atmospheres, then let me know. And why I say that is because streaming to Twitch is very different to streaming to YouTube. Streaming altogether is very different to recording. They are all in a category of their own, and they all require different setups on the software side of things. OBS might not be your thing. You might use a different type of software. There are various different softwares out there you can use. Make sure you do your research. Make sure it's right for you and it's going to do what you want it to do. If you're making TikTok videos, OBS is going to be absolutely useless to you. Or is it? There are now things out there that you can put on, widgets and stuff like that you can add to OBS that will allow you to do videos that are going to be brilliant for setting up a TikTok video. CapCut is free. Another great piece of software. It's on your phone, it's on your desktop. Things to consider. Next thing you need to consider is your hardware. Is everything you're wanting to do going to be covered by your hardware? I'm running a 1080 Ti, and I play most of my games at max settings. When I come to recording, I might lower that down slightly because things like shadow, bloom, motion blur, all of them things that I can run at max when I set it onto ultra or high are all things that are not going to translate well onto YouTube. YouTube makes things look darker, and also it's like being in a passenger of a car and you're trying to read a book. You're not in control of the vehicle, so the vehicle is making motion, which makes you feel sick because you can't see the motion coming at you, so therefore it makes you feel sick. It's the same thing when you're looking at a video and the head bob is on. If the head bob's on, you're not in control of that head bob. You're not the one expecting it to happen when you move your mouse or your keyboard. There are things that you need to consider that your viewer is going to be looking at, and then all of a sudden you're going to have a problem with. So bear that in mind. That all ties in with your hardware and your software. Make sure they're right. If you haven't got a decent microphone for your audio, people aren't going to listen to you. You've got one chance of dragging that person in, that viewer. When they click on your channel, start from the beginning, make sure it's right at the beginning, and make sure you've got a good setup, because if your audio is off or your video is off or your resolution's off, you're going to lose that viewer, and the likelihood is they're not going to come back to your channel. We generally get one chance of pulling people in. Sometimes you do get another chance. Sometimes they'll just click on your thing and go, actually, one video is bad. This video is actually something I'm interested in. Let's check it out. Some people don't even look at who the creator is, just look at what the video is. Things to consider though still. You generally get one chance of doing it, so make a good impression the first time. It's the same as if you were trying to make an impression on anybody that you don't know. Do it right the first time. You can do with doing small things with hardware. Like I had a Yeti, and I had issues with my Yeti where it was picking up feedback from the electricity because the socket was nearby to where my microphone was. A quick test of my setup and realised that there's an issue there, so I bought things that could help me. There are things out there that can help. Maybe you have to tweak your setup. Maybe you can only get away with that, but make something of it, or adjust your recordings accordingly to try and adapt to something that you may have to do. So hardware, very important thing to consider. It's not always just about the game, it's about you as a creator and what you're selling. Okay, the final thing I want to cover on this small video is to think about apps that you use. What I mean by that is Steam. Steam is a great use for a creator. As you can see on the screen now, you can see some of my videos which are uploaded to Steam. This is on a guide that I do. I generally do guides because that's the one niche that I chose to do. And I upload them up to Steam so that people can see the videos and find them when they're actually playing the game. Steam has a great way of putting your videos up on the community hub that people just spot and go, oh, actually, I'm struggling here and I might want to check this out. Do not overlook things like Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. All of these things can be used to increase your approach to your audience. You'll be amazed at what people look at. I sit at work Monday to Friday, away from my PC, and what I'll do is I'll look at Call of Duty videos. I don't even play the game, but I watch them because I find them funny and I enjoy them, and I get pulled in, and I generally watch similar ones. So generally, it's similar content creators that are doing it. So back to what I was saying earlier about having that pie. Just because you're doing the same as what somebody else is doing doesn't mean you're not going to get watched any less than they are, or any more than they are, for that matter. But the option is still there. If I enjoy something that I'm watching, then surely, if it's a similar thing for somebody else and the quality is just as good, I'm going to watch it, which I do. I don't even play Call of Duty. I have in the past, and I enjoy. I would enjoy it, but why am I watching Call of Duty videos? Because they're entertaining. That's the bottom line. They're entertaining. The quality's good. What they put on them's funny, and I can enjoy them. And they're only a few minutes long. All of these things are things you need to consider. But I get them on TikTok, or I get them on Facebook Reels. They will draw me in to then go, well, hold on a second, I want to watch more of these. And then I go, hold on a second, they've got a YouTube channel with lots on them. And before you know it, you've got yourself another follower, you've got yourself another subscriber, and that's more revenue on your views. YouTube now does shorts. Shorts is a good thing for people to watch if they're on short breaks and stuff like that. Consider making a larger video into a smaller video and using YouTube Shorts. Same with TikTok. Make a video that's 5, 10, 20 minutes long. Make it a minute or two. Snip pick it. Go, oh, look at this. Come and get it. Come and grab it. Have that little bite. Come to my channel. You don't even need to advertise who you are. They will find you. But it's always good to add who you are on it. Other apps can be used as well, which will help you along the way. That's how you can do direct promotion. There are other apps that I'll go into in a later video that can help you for doing things like your analytics, also for doing things like your targeted audiences, your tagging, your descriptions, your thumbnails. All these kind of things are all things that need to be considered. Thumbnails are an important one because they are generally found on this. This is the Steam page here. You can see that the first thing you're going to see is what my thumbnails are. And I try to make them so that you can see exactly what the game is. But this game here, if you saw them three there, you wouldn't necessarily know what game they are. I know what they are because they're in the middle of the Captain of Industry, which is what I did. Even that one's not that clear. I'd have to play the game to know that that one is Captain of Industry. Yes, these ones are my ones and I've done them wrong, but it's something that I learned. Actually, hold on a second. I'm not getting as good of views on these. Why am I not getting as good of views? Well, because they don't say Captain of Industry, so if people don't know what they are, but straight away, if you look, that's just a quick snippet of some of my videos. There are loads more videos on this, but you can see that I try to make it where they're nice and big and clear as to what they are. Now, unfortunately, on this page, the Steam does cut off a little bit at the bottom because it tells you exactly what it is there. So you are missing some of the logos and stuff like that. But that's something you need to make a consideration of when you move them over to things like Steam. There are also things like Stream Elements that you need to consider. That's again another app that you can use to help you with your setup and stuff like that. Again, that's something that I'll cover in a later video. The main thing right now is to consider where your audience is coming from and how you can use that to better your targeted audience and improve your view count and your hours watched. Hopefully this video has helped you for making a start on becoming a gaming YouTuber. You can see the money that you can earn in a short space of time. In 5 years, I've made $5,000, realistically. The first year I had the channel, I didn't do anything with it. I just had it ready to go, and I thought, I'll get to it when I get a chance. Second year, still didn't do too much. Third year, I was like, I really need to start doing something now. And that's when I started to ramp it up. And then over the past 6 months, I've kind of slowed back down again, then had a little bit of a spike, and then slowed down again. You can see that from my earlier section that I showed you with my analytics. You can see from the analytics that they go up and down, up and down. I only have 1 day a week that I can make videos, and I'm earning this kind of money. Somebody with more time on their hands, playing more video games, think what you could do with it. If you've got any questions, comments, or ideas, please let me know in the comment section below. This is something you need to be doing on your channel, making sure that you are encouraging people to have, that kind of back and forward with you, Comments, doesn't matter whether they're good or bad, they're comments, they're interactions. Take them for what they are, learn from them. I'm going to do the same. If you've got any questions or comments, then please leave them in the comment section below. I'll get back to you directly, or I'll introduce more of your stuff onto other videos at a later stage. But I think you need to take this part and now start thinking about what you want to do. If this is the path you're going to make, then start thinking about these 3 points that I brought up today, because they are going to really make a difference on how you start your channel and how you grow. Hopefully this short video has given you a chance to do that, and I hope that you do start to consider these things, and we can start looking further on in our future videos on things like, you know, where we can introduce stuff that can increase your view counts, increase how much money you make, and along with these points and more points that we bring in, hopefully you'll be earning a lot more than I am. But until next time, everybody, take care for now. I shall see you all next one. Bye bye for now.